Aputure, a name among film creators and sparks that gives a sense of quality, reliability, and value for money. But what about someone who creates content on a more basic level or wants their YouTube channel to look a little bit more professional? Is it really worth spending 3 times the amount of what would appear to do the same thing? Or do you have to spend 3 times as much to make a real difference? This is the question I'll be trying to answer during this review video. Earlier this year, Aputure announced the Amaran 300c and the 300c, the numbers relating to the wattage. I was curious to know if the 60XS I bought and reviewed earlier this year would be bright enough for what I needed. So I went for the 300c in a bigger is better or brighter in this case sort of way. Let's start with the unboxing, something even my non-lighting technician guru self can take care of. We start with the carrying case. It's nice to see this 300c tag outside this grey polystyrene. If you're someone who has a lot of these sorts of cases, opening them up to see what's inside or labelling them yourself is quite a pain. The case material and thick walls reassure me that accidental drops and bumps won't be a problem when it comes to protecting the contents of the package. Still, if you require a roadwear-worthy case, I recommend looking for something more fabric or like a flight case. However, this will do just nicely for my apartment storage cupboard. And an easy to grip springy handle helps me to carry what is actually quite a large package. What doesn't help to keep weight down is this giant power transformer brick. Nice to see a locking kettle lead in the box. Not something you see too often, even in this £600 region. The Amaran branded Velcro cable ties are always welcome and a must. I like the red in how it stands out from the cable, makes it easy to find where they are on these exceptionally long leads. More on if they're an acceptable length or not later. At the pointer connection end, we have a female XLR style plug, making it very easy to connect, stay secure and be much quicker than the screw fitting type barrel connectors that you get. Not to go on too much about what is essentially just a brick, but its textured finish is a welcome feature, giving a premium feel to the overall content. And the transformer block is complete with a steel cable to hang it from a stand. Next, we've got the lamp head, a lovely grey powder coated finish metal, likely aluminium. Finally, we've got the RGB light itself, which, by the way, my clammy hands from what is a sweltering day nearly dropped due to its weight. You'd be much safer holding this using one of the large handles at the back of the device. The body's lightweight plastic, again nicely matte in texture so it's not to cause too much glare from other lights that may hit it in your setup. Then we have the screen with all of the controls on the back. I like the way the designers made it so that all the little screws are hidden so you can't see them. Probably so that if you have other lights directed at the unit's body, it's not going to reflect and spoil your shot with loads of little tiny pinhole looking dots. The main mechanical things you operate, such as the angle adjustment handle, are made from metal. For this price, I would have liked to have had some metallic dials, but these ones' precision, the smoothness, and the way that they're perfectly sized make up for this. For those quick adjustments that you don't really require the app for, these make it a joy to perfect your scene. The top and bottom of the body have a stylish honeycomb cheese grater effect for cooling, again giving the device a premium modern look. The modifier release latch is in the perfect spot, nice and easy to reach, and not too hard to click loose, but not too easy so that it feels like it could easily let go of your modifier from a knock to the unit. Then we have the point source, WW lights, RGB chip, and white chip themselves. Okay, so why did I spend nearly £600 on an RGB light that someone like myself probably isn't going to get the full use out of? And the answer to that is usually when I go out and invest in equipment such as this, it makes me want to use it and therefore create more content, which is something I've been missing a lot of lately. I already have an RGB light, however, it's sort of not that reliable, and after I invested in another Amaran light, this one just matches with that one perfectly. I was drawn into the ecosystem because of how good the other one is and how well it works with the app, whereas the much cheaper light that I think I spent somewhere like £230 on back in the day, that app, for instance, hasn't been updated pretty much since when I bought it. So the question is this as good as that one for 3 times the cost? And then I also hear that there's versions of lights like this which are, you know, over £2,000, and I'm thinking, how good can a light get? Is it like trying to compare a two-seater sports car like a Mazda MX-5 to a BMW Z4, which is a lot more expensive because of the brand and sort of build quality, even though the two technically do the same sort of thing for the person who purchases it. There's no point in me talking about the technical specs because I don't properly understand them. I'll be learning about how to use these lights as I go along. But for those who haven't already looked them up, here's a chart explaining the basics. Got this thing set up. It was very easy even for someone like me who doesn't really use this stuff all the time. Everything's nice and clicky and well built. I like the colour. I wore the top to match. I like the clarity of the screen. That's another thing that's a lot better and easier to read than on my cheaper device. One of my favourite things about the 300c is this handle, this adjustment handle. So you can literally just unlock it and then you can really accurately angle it like this, and you can get it to pretty much wherever you want it to, whereas other ones I've got, especially like my older cheaper ones, have like a really annoying sort of jaggedy locking system where you have to land in a notch and then lock it in that position. This one's just so smooth and way more accurate. You don't have to look at it to be looking at the notches. You can just point at your target and then lock it in, knowing that it's solid. Everything's just so nice and clicky and easily adjustable. And also, by the way, it is whisper quiet, and today is a very hot day. It's about 30 degrees. The unit itself is starting to heat up. I've had it on for about half an hour now just to give it you know, a bit more of a proper test rather than just switch it on and going, oh, it's not cold at all. So it's been on for a while. It's about 30 degrees and it is whisper quiet. I'm still so confused as to why lighting engineers prefer to hang this off here. For me, it just looks so awkward and just really unnecessary when the lead is long enough to go all the way to the ground without having this hanging and like ruining the wires. Although this XLR type connector probably would hold it all anyway. Obviously it's just a bit more awkward when moving it. That's another thing I like, by the way, is the handles, the way you can grip it and control it like a proper light. It just gives you so much like better control. The locking kettle lead, by the way, a locking kettle lead is something I haven't actually seen before, so that's fantastic. That is actually quite short, which is confusing because, you know, if this is going to be hung up here, you're going to need a much longer one of these to get to wherever it needs to be, or you're going to need an extension lead to this. Wherever is better. For me, that will not be hanging on there. That'll be to the ground because I'm never really going to need this taller than that length there. And then hopefully there will be a power socket nearby anyway for that. But you know, you got the option, which is nice. I really love this app. You just scan for new sources, instantly picks it up. It already knows everything about this unit, and away you go with control. And it's so smooth, it's so well laid out. And there's even like funny graphics happening and stuff. You pay this sort of cash for the integration with the app control. If you're thinking about buying something like this and you're not too sure about it, you need to check out a review of the app alone, because there's bound to be stuff in there that'll definitely convince you to go for one of these. See, here's like the camera for white balance. So pros and cons for the Amaran 300c. Not that many cons other than it is expensive, but you pay for what you get. You're getting the quality, you're getting the app control, the way you can load in several fixtures into the app as well. You can set up different scenes, quickly jump between all of your different presets. Let me know if you've got any questions on this, and I'll be updating you on my socials on how I'm getting on with this unit. And you know, if I discover any other things that might be useful to you, ask me questions. I suppose your video is only as good as your weakest component. In the case of my videos, it's no longer the lighting, and you'll forever have people popping up to you, banging on about how you can make even a phone camera's footage and images, such as what I filmed this review using, look professional. Let me go back to the question I asked at the start of this review. Is it worth someone like me, a basic YouTuber, spending all this money on a light of this caliber? When I think about it, I'm sure a professional Spark who knows what they're doing with this equipment will be able to make a better looking scene using cheaper equipment in a all the gear with no idea sense. But given that I'm willing to learn how to use this equipment to its advantage and how user-friendly it is, I'm sure it will go from being that to more of a once you go premium, you never go back scenario. At least I hope so. Thanks for watching.